Hello everyone, welcome back. I want to show you guys the new Garrison gun, man. Now, I've had this gun now since December, so the gun isn't exactly new. What's new about it is that I finally mounted the scope that I intended to put on this, the primary arms 5 to 25 by 56 scope. So what I did is I bought both of these things about the same time back in December. But I have been testing them out independently. My mouth is freezing because it's freaking 20 degrees here. I've been testing them out independently. So I've been testing out the scope underneath a regular Palmetto AR-15 that I'm very familiar with, and I was testing out the AR-10 with a 510C red dot from Garrison. With a magnifier behind it because I'm really familiar with it. Okay, so after hold on, so I get this thing on. So after I guess 2.5 months, I was ready to put these two together. So I've had them now together for a couple of days, and I'm loving it. Now, one of the things I did put this Garrison pistol dot here. I put it on my non-dominant eye. Now, I'm pretty omni-dominant, but I generally shoot right-hand or right-eye dominant, even though I'm omni-dominant. The idea here is that the left eye looks through the pistol optic, and then right eye can see through the scope. The main reason why I put this on here was not so much for like CQB type of stuff, but because, like, let's say I can be all the way up in 25 power. I can see something out there. I can get my pistol optic on it, and then even if I'm on 25 power, the crosshairs are like, when I switch eyes, my crosshairs are on the target, so I don't have to like zoom up and zoom down. I can stay in one magnification, in whatever magnification I want to be in. So I did a lot of testing. I tried doing a piggyback. The turrets on this thing are just too big. I had to lift my head way high. This turned out to be the best thing. So I have done lots of videos on this AR-10. This is the PA-10 Gen 3, and this scope, this primary arms 5 to 25 by 56. And I'm going to put a link below in the comments and the description to the playlist for this AR-15 and the scopes, because I've done a ton of videos. But now I've had this now together for, I don't know, I think almost a week. I've been testing these things together. I finally got my zero perfect. I had this at 200 yards with the chevron right under here. Right, it was at 200 yards. And I got, it's not my best group. I mean, basically this gun gets about 1.25 inches MOA. 1.25 inches at 100 yards on average. Okay. So now at 200 yards, I got basically a 4-inch group, 4 inches at 200 yards with 5 shots. So that's 2 MOA. Look at this 3-shot cluster here, man. I got 3 shots at 200 yards at 1 inch, and that's very typical. I think that has to do more with the ammunition. I mean, just ammunition consistency. I've had this gun out to 500 yards with the red dot and the magnifier, and it did great. So this is an excellent gun. Now, I call this a Garrison gun because this thing is heavy. I mean, the gun with nothing on it weighs like 9 pounds. With this scope on it right now, it weighs like 12 pounds, 3 ounces, okay? And then with these magazines, and this is just the 20 rounders, they weigh a pound and a half. So that brings the weight of the gun with the scope and the magazine up to about like 13.5 pounds. Okay, so with 13.5 pounds, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of running with this gun. Okay, and it's not a question of work out and get stronger. I mean, I work out plenty. Okay, I posted videos working out. It's that somebody with a lighter gun is just going to be more nimble and faster, okay? And they're going to beat you. So this is a gun that you want to be like in this setup, 13.5 pounds. This is great for a Garrison gun where like you're in a position, you're covering a road or you're covering, a large area. And I see this as an anti-material gun, okay? I feel that AR-15s are excellent out to 500 yards, even 600 yards. Okay, for soft, fleshy targets. Okay. Now you might say that at 600 yards, it's only going to wound. Well, at 600 yards, you only need to wound, okay? Because if somebody's wounded at 600 yards, they're not going to keep charging on your position. If somebody's wounded at like 100 yards or 50 yards, they might conclude that their best chance of survival is to continue to attack forward and defeat you. But at 500 and 600 yards, even at 300 yards, if they're wounded, even if they got like little 22 holes in them, they're gonna get out of there, right? They're not gonna continue to attack forward. So for soft, fleshy things, I have said this many times, AR-15s are plenty good out to like 600 yards. Okay, this is anti-material. This is for the Mad Max Road Warrior Apocalypse. Okay, this is to stop vehicles that are trying to, charge your position, suicide trucks, that kind of thing. I've done videos on how to deal with that. So this is an excellent gun. If you're going to be like in a stationary position. So Palmetto AR-10, this is the 20-inch barrel, right? And as far as the gas setting on this, I have it in gas position number 2. So you go clockwise to all the way down to close it, and then just come back 2 positions with hot ammunition, like with Freedom munitions. This thing goes at about 2,800 feet per second. These are 150 grain bullets. You go for 2,800 feet per second, you get something like 2,600 foot-pounds of energy. Gas position number 2. Okay. If you're shooting stuff that's a little bit slower, gas position number 3. When I'm shooting Tula, I go to gas position number 4 or number 5. Okay. So this stuff, this is a great gun. Okay. Now the sling I've ended up putting on here is the CB Life one. Normally I use the brash ones, which are a little bit faster on the release and take up. But because this is a heavier gun, I went with the CB Life one because the sling is 1.25 inches, so it distributes the weight a little bit better. Okay, I did put in a Palmetto 2-stage trigger. I think that's a Schmidt trigger. That works good. And I did put in a Core Valley 5.6 ounce buffer weight and a Sprinkle orange spring. Okay, the main purpose of that was to just like soften up the recoil a little bit. I did not want to put a muzzle brake on this. I find muzzle brakes just annoying and loud. Okay, so I did not put a muzzle brake on this. Flash some shots with this bad boy. It's starting to get a little dark now, so you guys might see a little bit flash. That's why I timed this video as the sun was going down. Okay, so like I said, as far as accuracy, if you do your job, you'll easily get 1.25 inches. If the wind's not messing with you, if your ammunition's not messing with you, 1.25 inches. I've been inside of 1 inch plenty of times. Very accurate gun. So we're gonna fire some shots here. It's just dark enough that you can see me, and yet you should be able to see some muzzle flash. So in that gas position number 2, it's nice. Okay, now did it move around as I was shooting? Yeah, I could see that red dot bouncing around a little bit if you're going to do some rapid fire. That's why I say that there's really no substitute for an AR-15. Your AR-15 with your 5.56 is going to be like your primary gun. Okay, this is your anti-material gun. Okay, so even on Garrison duties, like, you're going to have the AR-15 as your main gun, and if you see like a truck or a vehicle coming at you that requires 308, then you pick up the 308. You don't want to be wasting the 308, in my opinion, on soft, fleshy things if 5.56 is good enough. Okay, because you can stockpile like 5.56, in the tens of thousands of rounds. Okay, 308. You might have a few thousand rounds of this. Okay. So yeah, that's for me. AR-10, 308, anti-material. Now you might say, hey, wouldn't a 50 cal be better? Yeah, but who has a 50 cal, and even those people that have 50 cals, how many rounds of ammunition do they have for 50 cal? All the people that I spoke to that have 50 caliber Barretts, they most of them have less than 100 rounds. Okay, so that's why the AR-10 is very practical as anti-material. So drop some comments below and do check out the playlists. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all soon.